Hi, it's Dwyer from GamblersAdvisory.com. We try to give our subscribers an edge on the sports books. This video is intended for gamblers who understand betting odds. We're going to be making reference to American betting lines. Uh, on February 14th, there is a excellent fight upcoming. It's HBO darling Alfredo Angulo. He's an undefeated fighter in the the junior middleweight division, super welter, 154. He's 14-0 with 11 knockouts. HBO seems to feel that Alfredo Angulo might be the next big thing in boxing. And he's taking on boxing bad boy Ricardo Mayorga, who is 28-7 with 22 knockouts. I see this fight as basically a toss-up. Angulo has youth, he has aggression. Style-wise, he is Antonio Margarito light. In other words, he comes at you. His nickname is El Perro, the dog. He comes at you. He tries to get inside. He throws uppercuts. He's an offensive fighter with very limited defensive skills. He's all action. He's willing to trade with you. He's willing to take punches to land punches. He throws punches with both hands. He has somewhat of a chin. Now understand, Antonio Margarito is a high wire act, very skilled fighter who knows how to roll his shoulders. It is very hard to imitate a great fighter. But that is what Alfredo Angulo is trying to do at the super welterweight, junior middleweight division, one division up from Margarito's welterweight division. Now, Ricardo Mayorga, an older fighter, he's 35, he's fought the vastly superior opposition. He recently fought Shane Mosley. He fought Oscar De La Hoya. He lost to both. He fought Fernando Vargas, whom he beat. He also fought Vernon Forrest, who has one of the belts at 154. He fought Forrest twice. He beat Forrest twice. It was a few years ago, but noteworthy is the skill level. I would encourage anyone to take a look at the rematch of the Ricardo Mayorga Vernon Forrest fight, where Ricardo Mayorga, quite frankly, outboxed Vernon Forrest very skillfully. Don't be fooled by Ricardo Mayorga's chain smoking persona. This is a guy who takes the sport very seriously, hasn't gained a lot of weight over the years, is always in shape. Quite frankly, in the recent Shane Mosley fight, his last fight, I had Ricardo Mayorga ahead after 10 rounds. Not only that, at the time he was stopped at the end of the 12th, one of the three judges actually had Ricardo Mayorga ahead. Don't be fooled by how HBO announced that fight. HBO's boxing analysts have opinions. Their opinion is that Shane Mosley was ahead by a wide margin. That was not the opinion of one of the judges, nor was that my opinion. Quite frankly, I thought that Ricardo Mayorga more than held his own and more than showed that he is still in his prime. So our take on this fight is that we expect Alfredo Angulo to be favored in the fight unfairly if Ricardo Mayorga is more than a plus 200 in the fight. In other words, if he is greater than a 2-1 underdog, our advice is to take Ricardo Mayorga. He is a live dog in this fight. I believe Mayorga hits harder than Alfredo Angulo. Angulo doesn't have a defensive mode. He's going to have to make it a street fight. And the guys who make it a street fight against Ricardo Mayorga end up losing. Angulo doesn't have the one-punch knockout power of Oscar De La Hoya. Angulo is more of a volume puncher than a one-punch heavy hitter. So what we expect in this fight is a straight-out brawl. Either man can win the fight. So if Ricardo Mayorga is a greater than 2-to-1 dog, then our advice is to take Mayorga. Let me also say, too, that if you look closely at Angulo's resume, and I understand that Angulo has trained with several elite boxers. If you do a YouTube search for him, you'll actually see training sessions on YouTube of Angulo training with big names. Training's not the same as fighting. Angulo has fought very few quality opponents. And quite frankly, those fights have been major tussles. The opponents have actually landed punches on him. Angulo might be more of a media creation than a boxing reality. So we lean toward Ricardo Mayorga in this fight. And if Mayorga gets to be greater than a plus 200, then we believe he offers compelling value. We would take Mayorga here. Let us know your thoughts here on YouTube. As we always say, if we're right, punish us in the ratings. Excuse me. If we're right, give us 5 stars. If we're wrong, punish us in the ratings. And of course, let us know what you think on gamblersadvisory.com. Good luck. And remember, when you bet, always use your head.